Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to this
Minisode
of the Calypso Cigar Review Podcast.
Why did I start doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I am Brandon Luna,
I'm Randy Rankin.
and today we're reviewing a interesting cigar. It is a shop cigar out of a shop in Austin called Bobalu Cigars on 6th Street. And they make these there, and it's hand-rolled by Cuban rollers.
Really?
Yep, they bring people over from Cuba.
I have bought cigars at that store.
Yep, I have
and
to.
they're good. I've never had a bad stick from that store,
Yep.
actually.
So they are pretty interesting because they got their own thing going on. They got their own shop there on 6th Street. I talked to the owner, told him we had a podcast. He gave me some samples to smoke. This is the Bobalu. The Bobalu Super Fuerte Criollo orange label.
And I like Criollo.
Yep, I do too. This is a 6x52 Toro Grande. And it is listed as wrapper Nicaraguan Criollo, binder Honduran, filler Honduran, and Nicaraguan. So it's a mixture. Yep.
Almost Tempest-like.
Yes, sir.
In
So
the
we will
makeup
see.
of it. We'll see.
It is listed as full body. He said it is his most popular cigar at the shop.
Really?
So I am very psyched to try these.
Bobalu was the famous song that Ricky Ricardo sang. That was his supposed big hit on I Love Lucy. Bobalu, Bobalu, or whatever the hell that song.
And these have about 8 months on them, probably. The wrapper, nice dark wrapper, a little toothy. It's got a little bit of bumpiness to it, but no seams. I mean, I don't see a single seam on this thing at all.
And nice shine.
Smelly. Draw is wide open on the cold draw.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I'm looking forward to giving this a burn. So we got the cut and light and Criollo. So right off the bat, some spice. Oh yeah, very earthy.
That's what I'm getting, is a lot of earth.
Yeah, so great bunch of guys over there at Bobalu. You know, it's cool. It's one of those shops you can go into, and there's a roller there rolling cigars. They've got everything from Dominican to Nicaraguan, and they do custom rolls there. They actually do something really cool that is a great idea, and I'm surprised more people don't do it. They do custom cigar labels, so you can buy whichever box you like, and they'll make whatever the hell label you want. They got a thing on the site where you can go there and put your label, or you can just send them your own label, and they'll put it on a whole bunch of cigars. So they sell a lot to weddings and stuff, and special events, and businesses.
There's actually a lot more people that do that than you think.
Oh, really?
There are
Okay.
some people that do that.
Yeah, that's a cool deal.
Because we've talked about switching our house brand, the Little Havana cigars, to this local guy, and we can get our own bands made from some other company. I can't remember. And I sound like I've got a cold.
Yeah, you do.
Crap. Yeah. But I've been in that store in Austin. It's very cool. I was at a conference in Austin, and my boss lived there, and he invited me over for dinner afterwards. And he said, "Do you like cigars?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Why don't you pick us up some cigars, and I'll buy dinner, and we'll have steaks and stuff." And I went to that place on 6th Street in Austin and got us a couple of sticks. And they were great.
Yep, they got some great sampler packs in there too, so you can try the whole line. They got 6 to 12 different cigars, and it's a cool shop. They're real laid back. They do a lot of stuff with the bikers and stuff. They have a whole lot of events that they go do for bikers and stuff. So that's just a real cool laid back environment there.
Yeah, it's very cool. But we'd rather you come to Calypso. If you're in Austin, stop there. But if you're in the Dallas area, stop here at Calypso. And I remember a shout out that I didn't give, and I want to give it. I know we don't do shout outs on minisodes, but this is an important one. Mike Peacock owns Town and Country Cigars, and he owns another store, but I don't remember what it's called. Sorry, Mike. But they're now following me, you, and the show on Twitter, I believe. So
cool.
There's a shout out to Town and Country Cigars.
Excellent.
Great guys over there.
Criollo 98 too.
That's on 2 of my favorite cigars. Tempest and the Cubano Limitado. Remember that cigar by Fonseca?
Yep.
Fonseca cigars aren't that great, but that cigar is good. You've had the Cubano Limitado?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's a good cigar.
Long time ago.
Good cigar. Talking about a balls to the wall ass kicker, that cigar would kick your ass.
So far, I would say this is medium at best. The retrohale is actually not as spicy as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, really? It got me. But then again, my nose is very sensitive, as you well know this episode.
Yeah.
But
A lot of earthy, spicy flavor.
doesn't taste Criollo 98 though.
No,
Not yet.
yet.
Not
We'll
yet.
see. We'll get into it. Yeah. And it's interesting because they do all their stuff fresh rolled. So it's the cool thing about it is you can go in there and say, hey, what do you have that's fresh rolled that I need to smoke now? What do you have that has a little bit of age on it? And he'll direct you to where stuff is.
Yeah.
It's just a cool site, cool shop rather, where you can go pick stuff up. And it's always cool getting the local flavor, from blenders doing their own thing.
Yeah, it is.
So that's interesting to say the least.
One of the reps in this area makes his own cigar. He grows his own cigars in his backyard. He grows his own tobacco and makes his own cigars.
Texas cigars, huh?
Yeah, interesting. He says they're good. He says he's giving them to people not told, blind, and they've loved it and asked for more. So he says he's going to give us some to review. So
Cool.
That'll be cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So here's the Bobalu story, just to get a little bit into the story of what these guys do. Since 1997, they've been making and manufacturing their own line of cigars. You deal with them direct, no middleman, no typical overpriced, sale on cigars. A huge inventory, which they do. They have a good size, just full of all their stuff that they make. And they do boxes as well as bundles, so they've got a good collection there. They do everything from Sumatra, Cameroon, Maduro, Habano 98, Criollo, Corojo, Brazilian Maduro, Connecticut Shade, Connecticut Broadleaf. So they've got it all. They got 25 different lines of cigars from mild to wild, is what they say, which is a good way to put it. I like that.
That's cool.
And what's funny is I walked in that shop with
I
my
had
dad.
a fucked up burn, and I didn't do anything, and it corrected like almost immediately.
Sign of a good roll. My burn is nice.
So what were you saying about your dad? I'm sorry.
Me and my dad walked in there, and my dad is mostly, at that point, he's moving on to regular cigars, regular tobacco cigars. He was mostly into the flavored stuff at that point, infused. And they have a whole line of infused stuff as well that they do. And I asked the guy there, I was like, so I was kind of trying to embarrass my dad a little bit. I'm like, okay, so who buys it? Is it guys like this guy, or is it mostly chicks? And he's like, because I don't get asked that question a lot, but you want to hear the answer? It's really kind of funny. I'm like, all right, give it to me. He's like, bikers.
Really?
I'm like, really? He's like, bikers love infused cigars.
We've got several bikers here that buy the infused stuff.
Yep.
I hadn't thought about it till you just mentioned it, but you're exactly right. That's interesting.
He says he does those bike events because, number one, he's a biker too, and he likes to be involved in those events, but he sells so many cigars at these bike events. These guys love the infused stuff.
Wow. That's crazy. You know what? I've never told this story, and I'm going to tell it now. Jonathan Drew, I'm name dropping, told me and Matt this story. Talking about infused.
Dropper. Okay.
Talking about infused. He's from some place in New York. I don't remember exactly where he's at. And he went into a cigar store, and he knew they didn't carry any Drew Estate stuff. And he's telling the guy, he goes, I own Drew Estate. He goes, yeah, I've heard of it. He says, well, you don't carry any of my stuff. Why is that? He said, you guys have all that infused shit. I'm ad-libbing a little bit, but this is the gist of the story.
Yeah.
And he said, you don't have any customers that like infused cigars? He goes, no, I sell man cigars, blah, blah, So Jonathan said, tell you what. Now, I don't know what he left him, but I think it was Blondie or something. He goes, let me get you a box. It's free. Sell them. All the money's yours. But I guarantee you they'll fly off the shelf, and then you'll want to carry my cigars. And the guy says, I'll take a box of free cigars, sure. So sure enough, Jonathan left him whatever this box was. Let's say Blondie's or whatever. And when he was leaving, because I think he was visiting family, was why he was up there. As he was leaving, he stopped by the cigar store, and the box was empty. So he said, see, I told you. He goes, you want to place an order? The guy goes, no, I don't want to carry that stuff. I don't want to carry infused stuff. So even though it's sold, he still didn't want to carry it.
Wow.
Because some people just have that manly, I can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's weird.
So he left him a box. It flew off the shelf in a week, and the guy didn't want to buy them anymore.
I hope he ended up carrying him because that's a horrible story.
It's a horrible story. But it just shows how some people just have that mindset.
Very close-minded about it, yeah. And, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think there's room for everything out there. Whether you smoke infused or mild or full-bodied, whatever, ass kickers. It's a cigar. If you're smoking a cigar, you're a buddy of mine. I'm going to hang with you, have a good talk, and maybe give you a couple cigars, and we can trade some stuff. But it's, you gotta welcome all of them because this is something that it's a great hobby.
Yeah.
And they're doing whatever they can to take it away from us. And for that to be what a crap ton of their sales is infused. So you get on these forums and there's all these guys saying, "Oh, infused cigars, blur, you're never gonna smoke that." Well, maybe all the guys on the forums aren't smoking them, but someone is smoking them.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they are selling gangbusters.
Yeah, and we won't mention the store, but one of the bigger stores in this area will not let you smoke infused cigars in his store.
Wow.
You have to go outside. You know who it is.
That's like pipes. They don't let them smoke pipes either, I guess. Yeah.
And he doesn't keep any of the infused stuff in his humidor. He has a separate humidor for the infused stuff.
Yep.
And there's a sign when you walk in, if you were smoking an infused cigar, you must smoke it outside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
You know who we're talking about, yeah.
It's just like cigarism. If there's, a version of racism with cigars.
He's the cigar Nazi.
Yeah, he really is. You smoke outside.
Smoke outside. Yeah.
No cigar for you. Yeah, that's really what that is.
Yeah.
So great burn on this. The ash is beautiful. Got a lot of flavor. I mean, just, man.
It really does. It's not as strong as I was expecting, but it does have a lot of flavor.
Got about 8 months on it, so it's probably strong when I got them. But they got buried. Sorry, guys. They got buried in my humidor for a while.
Thanks for giving it to us. I'm enjoying it.
And we're happy to review it. And we're, again, pairing with the Toma 1012.
Yep. Nice scotch. Scotchy scotch.
So I'm about the end of the first third, and so far, spicy leather and earth. And we're going to take a little break. We'll come back for the middle of the second third, give you an update on the Bobalu Super Criollo. All right, so we're back for the second third of the Bobalu Criollo Super Fuerte. And look at that great looking ash.
My ash fell.
It has been holding on. I had a little bit of an uneven burn, but that's nothing that's not going to correct on its own. Nothing that's not gonna. Wow, that's some English right there.
Gonna.
It is going to correct itself. We'll say that.
Hey, you ain't supposed to say no double negatives.
Right? Yeah, double negative speaking here. So yeah, good strong ash. I'm gonna go ahead and ash now because I don't want that ending up on me.
Right. Yeah,
And
like you hear people say, "You ain't got nothing."
That means I have something.
That means you have something.
Exactly. So I think it's definitely picking up in the second third. It's getting a little more bold. It was pretty mild at the start. I would say it was mild to medium. Now
the flavor's really picking up. The pepper's picking up. I still don't taste Criollo 98, but that could be binder and filler and the fact that I have a cold.
Yep.
Are you picking up Criollo 98 at all?
A little bit.
Yeah.
More so in the second third than in the first third. It could also be that these have been sitting in my humidor for, a good 8 months.
Yeah.
So that has something to do with it. I cannot get this wrapper off to save my life. It is not coming off nicely.
There you go.
We'll say that. There you go.
At least it's not that Fuente sun. That took a year and a half, I think, for me to get that one ready to get light. It was a good smoke, but God, it took forever to get to that.
Yeah, this is definitely enjoyable. Kind of, we talked about consistent smokes and easy smokes. This is definitely an easy smoke. When you think Criollo, usually you think it's kind of an ass kicker. It's a little milder than the average Criollo, but it's got some flavor to it, and it's got some spice to the red trail. It's nice.
If you put a gun to my head and said, "What's your favorite wrapper?" I would say, other than Dr. Dre. No, I'm joking.
50 Cent.
50 Cent.
50.
No, Criollo. I really, I love Corojo. I love Maduro. I love it, but I think Criollo is my favorite wrapper.
So Criollo 98 was very popular for the longest time.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, that was every cigar was Criollo 98.
Did they run out of 98?
I don't know.
Now it's Criollo 99?
Well, the Tempest is still made with Criollo 98, so... We got to do a Tempest someday since we've talked about it a lot.
Eventually we will, yes.
We haven't done the New York.
No, we still need to do
And that's
New York
one that
too.
definitely needs to be reviewed because not many people know about that one.
Yeah, we'll do that soon.
And if you don't know, that's the Tempest wrapper, Prensado binder, and then a combination of their fillers. It's a very good stick. It was the first cigar you bought here.
It was. Because I hadn't seen it anywhere. I was like, you can only get this in New York. Like, am I in New York?
And I'm like, no, here's one
Wow.
And he bought 2, and he bought 1 for a buddy.
Yep.
So
He didn't get it.
He
No.
didn't get it. You
No,
smoked it?
no, he did. He got it. I got it.
Did he like it?
Yeah, I don't think he smoked it.
It's a good cigar.
I think he still has it.
I want to review it because I haven't had it in a while. So I want to see if I still like it.
What size would you want to do it in?
You know what? It's that cigar actually is best in the Churchill. That's the best size.
Really? Okay, that's gonna be a long review.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that one. Maybe we'll start that one, get through the first third, and then do the. Well, because if we're doing it live by then, that's gonna be a long.
Yeah, it will be.
Yep.
But okay, well, we've got it. I actually like it in the Robusto, too. That was the first one I had. So we'll do it in the Robusto.
Okay, we can do it in Robusto.
Because I think the Robusto and the Churchill are the same ring gauge.
Okay.
Just the Churchill's longer. So
you get more of the flavor throughout the cigar. So now, what's your favorite size cigar? If you had to pick one size to only smoke
if I only had to
forever.
pick one size, it would be Corona.
Corona, not double Corona.
No,
Just
no,
Corona.
Corona.
Okay.
And then Lancero if I could pick 2. But I want 46 or smaller ring gauge is what I want. That's my wheelhouse.
I would say Corona as well, only because Lanceros are harder to roll, and you're going to get a bad Lancero over a bad Corona before you'll, it's just.
You'll get a bad Lancero before you get a bad
Yeah,
Corona,
exactly. Before you get a bad Corona, exactly. Yeah. Because it's kind of hard to roll.
Yeah.
So much of the wrapper in there and the binder and a little bit of the filler. So.
And I, for whatever reason, I like the feel of a Corona in my hand more than any cigar. I just like that size. That size appeals to me visually, and then it appeals to me when you actually start smoking it. If I knew nothing about wrapper to binder ratio and filler, if I knew nothing about that, I would still pick the Corona. That size visually appeals to me.
And that's funny because a lot of people size visually, they're going 660 or bigger because it's a, I want my value, but I don't. Yeah.
Tell that story about the Pepin rep.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool story.
We have actually a cigar story for a change.
Yep. For a change.
We've had 2.
Yep.
I told the Jonathan Drew story. Now you got a story.
Yeah, okay. So Pepin rep, I can't think of the guy's name. It's
not the local rep.
No, not the local rep, no. And this guy was telling a story about how he teaches people about the difference between wrapper and binder and how it affects the flavor of the cigar. Yeah. And what he's talking about basically is he takes, because he's got unlimited cigars, he's a Pepin rep.
Right.
Takes the cigar, he basically scores the end of the cigar and takes off the wrapper and I think he just takes out the wrapper off that thing, scores a little more, takes off the wrapper takes the wrapper and binder off the bottom inch, then scores it to get more and takes the wrapper off and leaves the binder, and then lets the person smoke the cigar. And as they smoke the cigar, he'll be like, okay, so what do you think of the cigar? First, he's like, it's okay. It's, it's kind of mild and kind of just there, tobacco flavor. That's really it. Then they get an inch in and they're like, oh, it's good. It's kind of picking up. Okay, I got a little more flavor. I'm getting this, getting that. As they get past the second inch, whoa, it just opens up and it's like instantly they get all the flavor of the cigar. And that's what he does for people who prefer the larger ring gauge.
Yep.
Because he's like, okay, so if you realize now that all the flavor melds and comes from the wrapper and the binder and not the filler, why would you want more filler?
Yep, exactly. And that's a very good thing to do. That's a smart guy. And, it took Matt, and Matt's a very knowledgeable cigar guy, as we all know. I had read a review or an interview with Alan Rubin, with Alec Bradley, and he talked about that the Tempest and the Inceptio and the Lancero are his favorite because that wrapper is so special that you want to get more of the wrapper taste and smaller ring gauge. And that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, okay. So I told Matt like, no, it's in the smoke. That's where the flavor is. And it took Matt forever to realize that the flavor is in the wrapper, even though I was telling him another wrapper. And then he read this book on tobacco, and he says, do you know that there's more, that the flavor comes from the wrapper? And I said, yeah, I told you that like 3 years ago. And you didn't believe me. He said, and it makes sense now. I'm like, it didn't make sense when I told you? Come on.
I had to read it in the book.
Yep.
Sometimes it works that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I'll go back to my kids because I do that. Kids don't listen to me. They'll listen to someone else tell them something, but not me.
Yeah. If you could say, hey, Santa Claus doesn't exist, kids, I'm sorry. They'd be like, oh, you're full of shit. And then their friend says, there's really no Santa Claus?
They'd be like,
really? What?
You were lying to me, Dad. Spoiler
No.
for those people who believe Santa still.
He does exist. Sorry, I believe him.
And he looks a lot like Tim Allen.
No. I like Santa. Santa's my buddy. He hasn't got me anything cool in a long time, so maybe he shouldn't be my buddy anymore.
Well, it's because
Fuck
you've
him.
been bad.
That's really
You've been on a naughty list.
probably true.
We're just holding on to the holidays, man. It's not even the holidays anymore.
I know we're past the holidays, but oh well.
What the hell's what now? What do we have to look forward to? Christmas is gone. New Year's is gone. What's next?
And football's about to be over for me. That sucks.
This is when, see, that's what I don't get. People get all depressed and kill themselves during the holidays. Wait till the holidays are over to kill
Kill
yourself.
yourself in the middle of January.
Yeah,
It's-
when there's nothing going on. There's no football. There's no more presents. There's no good shit.
We don't endorse killing yourself, by the way. But the only thing I've got to look forward to is pitchers and catchers report in February in baseball. That's all I'm getting. I mean, the baseball season is about to start. That's all I've got to look forward to. But yeah, you have it lucky because you don't care about football or anything. But once the Super Bowl's over, and basketball regular season sucks, so you don't really pay attention to basketball till the playoffs. There's no baseball. There's no anything. Oh my God, Sunday afternoons are suicidal after the Super Bowl until baseball season starts. It's just like, oh my God, what the fuck do I do with my life? I have nothing to do.
It's because you rely on sports. You're a lemming.
No, it's because I have a brain. And I like good stuff.
Yeah, okay. Gladiatorial sports.
Doesn't like... Oh, I'm the girl of this podcast,
Yeah.
apparently, according to Aaron with the Blind Man's Puff. He doesn't like sports. He's the girl.
I don't like to watch sports. I like to play sports and go
Oh, yeah.
see. I'll go see a live sporting event. That's a
I know.
blast. That's a good time. You get to drink
is.
some beers with your buddies.
Yeah.
Watching it on TV, boring,
Not.
boring,
Not.
boring.
That's why the Super Bowl's the most watched event on the
Oh, I'll
planet.
watch the Super Bowl
You do watch the Super Bowl.
for
Okay.
the commercials.
Commercials are good, too. Although the last few years they've been shit.
They have been shitty the last few years. Well, because they have all these like really good ones that are coming out, but then they X them because it's too it's too adult oriented and blah. So you see them on the internet instead, and they're hilarious commercials. They're not on the Super Bowl. God forbid someone show a tit. Once they showed a tit on the internet or on the Super Bowl, all the cool, fun stuff went away.
That's Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake's fault. Because of the wardrobe malfunction
Yeah,
episode.
but the last line of the song is "Get you naked before the end of this song." Did you really think that was a wardrobe
yeah, and then he
malfunction?
actually walked over and pulled on it.
so that
how
she
is that
would
a
show
ward-
her boob.
So how was that a wardrobe malfunction?
That was a ideal malfunction.
But you know, I was watching and I didn't notice. I think we actually were eating during the
I think
halftime.
at that point we actually still had a DVR, so I was like, "Was that a tit?" My wife's like, "What?" We're just like sitting there with a bunch of people. Was like, "I think there was a tit." She's like, "No, there wasn't." I'm like, "No, seriously." Like I backed it up, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
I had to wait for it to be on the internet
Yeah.
before I saw it. Because I wasn't watching. I went to get food.
And then you went from like, "That was a tit." There was something on the tit. Why didn't that tit look better than I thought it was going to look?
Yeah, I'd always wanted to see Janet Jackson's
Yeah,
boob,
that
but
tit
no.
should look better than that.
Yeah,
Oh,
well.
whatever.
Dude, do you realize that means Justin Timberlake has been famous that long? That was in 04.
He's been famous before that with NSYNC and everything.
know.
Yeah, that guy's been around.
Life sucks if Justin Timberlake is that successful for that long.
People like the guy. He's personable.
I guess. He ruined that Clint Eastwood movie. What was it? Trouble with the Curve. Would have liked it. It was a good baseball movie. Which we didn't mention on our baseball movies.
No, we didn't,
No.
because it wasn't a good one.
Because Justin Timberlake was in it. And God forbid you ever like a Justin Timberlake movie.
Right. Okay, so we're at the I'm still kind of in the second third, but we are going to take a break because it's a mini-sode.
Minisode.
So we'll come back for the last third of the Bobalu Super Fuerte Criollo. Criollo. I can't say that.
Criollo.
Corojo, I can say. Babalu Super Fuerte
And you're Mexican, so you
Criollo.
should be able to say the Criollo. That's a Mexican sounding
It should
word.
be Criollo or something like that. I don't know. We'll be
Gotta
back.
roll your R's.
All right, so we're at the last third of the Babalu
Bobalu.
Super Fuerte Criollo. And,
Now, is it really super fuerte? Or is it just...
That's
How do
what
they
it
know
says.
it's super fuerte?
well, I guess because maybe they had some
Some
Superman.
fuerte and they knew it was good.
Superman delivered the Fuerte. He landed. He's like, "This Fuerte is super," and they're like, "We should call it that." I don't know, but it is definitely getting bolder in the last third.
It does. I am picking up Criollo 98 now, big time.
So definitely
This cigar was kind of a surprise. It was like he was trying to trick you. First third, good taste, but
kind of mild. Yeah.
medium was like, last is like,
Yeah. Guess what? Smack palate.
gotcha.
Yep. I'm like curb stop your palate now, baby.
I like it. I would smoke it again.
Ooh, the retrohale hurts.
Yeah, I don't even want to try it with how messed up my nose is. I'm not retrohaling this one at all.
Yeah, it definitely hurts in the last third.
It's a lot of smoke. Look at that. Look at that thing. It's
The
just
smoke output's great. Yeah, I mean, it's just like pouring out of it. Yeah.
coming out both ends, too.
Yep, for sure. Which is usually a bad thing. You got it coming out both ends. You should probably go see a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Eat some fiber.
My poor daughter, my 5-year-old, is she has another stint of the rotavirus, which you probably have never had dealt with or heard of, but
Is that like Roto-Rooter?
yeah, basically, yeah, because you got to come out of both ends. So you start getting vomits, and you get a fever, then you get the shits.
Because then you get dehydrated.
Yep. So yeah, I was just middle of the night, ass explosion, had to deal with that, and then giving her the Pedialyte, drink it. I don't want it. So yeah.
His 5-year-old's cute. She's a sweetheart. She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, when she's going out of both ends, it's not fun to be around.
But no, she's a sweetheart of a girl.
So this is funny because when I never had any kind of sour stomach. Like I could take anything, like gore, horror, smells, nothing mattered. Once I had a daughter, my first daughter, when she was about 6, she got something bad. She ate something bad, but she puked spaghetti all over her bed. We had a monitor and we heard it happen. We heard, and we're like, the hell was that?
That didn't sound good.
We don't have a pet or anything. What was that? So we go in there and she's asleep and just vomit everywhere, all over her, all over the bed, all over the floor. We're like, what the hell? And that smell hit me. And I just looked at my wife. I'm like, that's all you. And I walked away. She's like, what? I'm like, I'm going to throw up if I go in there. I swear to God, I'm going to throw up.
Oh, my God.
And since then, any kind of really strong, pungent, like vomit or poop scent, I'm out. Like just.
Did I tell my vomit story?
I don't think so.
My vomit story?
I got a bunch of them. Go for it.
Okay. We used to live in these apartments, and we had all these friends, and we'd play water volleyball all day and get drunk and drink, and it was a blast. And I probably had 6 or 7 drinks while we were playing water volleyball. But it's in the sun. You're working it off. You don't feel buzzed or anything.
Yeah.
So we decided to go to a movie that actually served alcohol. Where you could actually order food and alcohol. And I probably had 4 Heinekens during the movie. It was Con Air. We went to see Con Air.
That movie will make you throw up on its own.
To this day, I know nothing about Con Air. I could tell you nothing about that movie. Nicolas Cage is in it, I think.
Yeah.
But on the way there, I'd poured like a big tumbler, half full of Weller and half of Coke. This is when I was still mixing.
Yeah.
Drank that. Then we decided to go to this karaoke bar after the movie, and I was doing Tawaka shots.
Oh, you're mixing. That's bad news.
And then we decided to go to our friends, and I started drinking there. Mm-hmm. I was drinking Jim Beam straight out of the bottle because we were watching a Western.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be cool. I don't remember anything else. I wake up in the middle of the night, and my wife's not in bed with me, and I'm thinking, she was probably so drunk she decided to stay over at their house, whatever. Not thinking that it was me. So I'm getting ready to walk down the stairs, and I realize, well, she's sleeping in the other bed. Why is she sleeping in the other bed? So I go over and, hey, why are you sleeping in the bed? Well, the dog walks up to me, and the dog's soaking wet. I'm like, why are you sleeping in here, and why is Candy wet? She goes, shut up and go to bed.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
I'm like, so now I'm trying to piece together what the fuck happened. Apparently, somebody got the bright idea to make sloppy joes. This is like 2 a.m. Apparently, while I was drinking Jim Beam from the bottle, I started eating sloppy joes and puked it all over their house. They kicked me out. My buddy and my wife were walking me home. Apparently, I sat down on the floor, leaned my back against the couch, and my dog decided to come up and see me. Apparently, I puked all over the dog. And what do dogs do when they're wet? They shake. So my poor wife is drunk, and she's now having to clean up all this vomit, and that's why the dog was wet. She had to give the dog a bath and all this kind of stuff. And I swore the next morning when I woke up, I said, I swear to God, I will never puke from drinking again. And I haven't. I have kept that rule. but that was awful.
That was awful. It sounds like a bad
Why is the dog
night.
wet? Go to bed.
I have a story very similar to that. It doesn't involve alcohol, but it involves vomiting on an animal. Okay, so we were moving from Maryland to Texas again, and we stopped in New Orleans somewhere, and it's somewhere in we just
Maryland,
stopped.
why would you?
Maryland, yeah, no, because
A
we
weird
had
route.
well, my parents lived in Baton
okay,
Rouge, so we went
okay.
to visit them, and then we went to Texas, and so we stopped there, stayed in a hotel, and we stopped at this KFC. It was there, It's like KFC attached to the hotel, whatever. It was one of those KFC / gas stations.
Okay, one
Which
of
you
those guys.
probably shouldn't eat at.
No.
So we ate our food. I'm feeling bad. I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. My wife's like, what? I'm like, I really don't feel so good. I'm like, can you go down to the gas station and see if they have any kind of Pepto or something? Because this is bad news right now. She's like, yeah, okay, I'll go. So she walks down to the thing to go to the gas station and go check. I didn't make it. I got up. I was like running to the bathroom. And at that time, we had a kitten. It was at least it was like this big.
Yeah.
And big enough for it to jump on things because it's a cat, right?
Right.
So I go there and I'm puking in the toilet, and the cat's like walking around me doing circles, like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, just evacuating everything from 1972. And then I get up and I'm like, "Oh God, I feel horrible." And then I start getting ready to go again. I go in the tub this time in a hotel. And the cat's just like up walking on the tub. It's like, hey, what's up? And it starts batting at the vomit. I'm like, no, get up. I fling the cat in the other room. It comes back over and fucking attacks me because I flung it.
Right.
It's like, I'm like, you son of a bitch. I threw it, landed in the toilet in the vomit.
The cat landed in the toilet in the vomit.
Okay. Yeah. So it jumped out of there and ran across the room. And my wife gets back home. And then, it had enough time because I don't know what the hell took her so long. It may have been a couple minutes for me to do all this. But she gets back. I had to, I've already flushed everything. I cleaned up what I could. There's a big pile of vomit towels in the corner and a wet cat. My wife's like, what happened to the cat? Why is the cat wet? I'm like,
Talk about it.
I puked on the cat. That cat's scarred for life now.
You ruined your kitten.
Yeah, I really did.
And they're already ruined to begin with, so you really ruined it.
Yeah, I did. That was a great cat, though. It was a cool cat, but wound up not being scarred for life.
Only
but
on
still.
Calypso Cigar Reviews do you get great vomit stories. And I've got a couple more, but we don't have time on the Minisode.
We'll bring those to the next full episode we do.
One literally involved projectile vomiting at least 8 feet.
Oh, nice.
I have to tell that story.
Yeah, we'll tell that for sure. All right, so last third of the Bobalu Super Fuerte.
I don't want it to end now. Seriously. I mean, I want to go home because I'm tired, but I don't want this to end. It really tastes good now.
Yeah, the last third is awesome. It's like super, super awesome in the last third.
Chock full of flavor. I can't describe the flavor. It's not a red pepper or a cayenne or anything, but there is pepper. There's leather. There's cedar. There's earthy.
It's got a lot going on. Yeah.
But I can't pinpoint any of them as being prevalent or predominant over the others.
I would like to try this in like a Corona if they have it in a Corona. I think that would be awesome.
Nice job, Bobalu. I've had burn issues the whole way through. I don't know if that's the way you've stored it or what, or I lit it, but no, because it corrected itself and then it got fucked up again, and then I corrected it and then it got fucked up again, and I haven't touched it, and it's off kilter, but it tastes good.
Mine is pretty much spot on. Haven't had to relight it or anything like that, so it's good. But these are rolled by individuals there, so it is a totally hand rolled product.
Yeah.
So that happened.
But it tastes great. Like I said, I would smoke this again in a heartbeat.
For sure.
If I had a bundle or a box of these, I would be happy.
So thanks, Bobalu, for providing the cigars for us for this review. And go check them out at bobalucigars.com.
Yes, and go on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podomatic, Spreaker, Stitcher. Am I leaving anyone out? YouTube. And like us, comment, put us on your playlist on iHeart, and we'll give you a shout out. And Stitcher.
And I got the nickups now, so that's a sign of a good cigar.
That is a good cigar. And we're getting up there in subscribers on YouTube, but we need more.
Oh.
Nice.
That was a straight up hiccup right there.
And, man, we have, on Podomatic, been consistently in the top 2, 3, 4 spot.
Yep.
Each of the last several weeks. And we're still getting hits all over the world. It's really cool.
It is really cool. So thanks for all the listeners out there. Keep listening and recommend us to friends. And,
What are we at? Did you say we're over 35,000 now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
We're over 35,000 subscribers. You guys fucking rock.
that's awesome. Yep.
Badass. If we'd have, when we started this in March, you'd have told me we'd had 350 listeners. I'd have thought that was really cool. We've got 35,000.
That's a lot of listeners. Yeah. And iHeartRadio, there's really no way for me to track how many people are listening there, but you got to imagine it's iHeartRadio, so there's probably a crap ton.
Yeah, and we're one of only 2 shows on iHeartRadio that are cigar related.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So go to iHeartRadio and give us the heart there and add us to your playlist. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And we love you.
We do. And
almost as much as we like the cigars we're smoking. Almost.
And this guy would love to love you because he's single.
No, because there's mostly guys listening. Although we have had several girl followers on Twitter.
Yep.
That's probably because of me.
They like this, baby.
They see
right
this.
There.
They see this like dark mustache with his. What the hell's that on his chin? It looks like someone put Cool Whip on his chin or something.
God, serious nickups going on.
You are the nickup king tonight.
Wow, that's awesome though. That's a good cigar.
Nice, yeah.
Like I said, I don't want this to end. It's great. So thanks a lot, Bobalu, for the cigars, and as always, it's been great smoking with you.
It's been great nick-upping with you. See you later, Brandon.
See you later, Andy.